All right, baby, there we go. We got some news. We got some juice down here in Foxborough. Oh, man, Brandon Aiyuk. Down to two suitors there, McKone. The Cleveland Browns, who were technically a playoff team.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
You say Cleveland, you look, city of Cleveland, mistake on the lake. It's an organization that's been in ruins for years. Now they've kind of turned it around a little bit. They've got a little pop down there. They got Deshaun Watson still. And what's attractive for the 49ers in this trade potentially could be Amari Cooper going to San Francisco. Now, is Cooper an X or is he a Z? See, I think in that offense, in that San Francisco offense, this is when I fell in love with Kendrick Bourne. Because he's really a true X. He's the guy that runs the slant, runs the quick out, runs the curl, runs the square in. You know, it's that type of stuff. That true boundary X guy. He's on the line of scrimmage. Your Z's off. He's the move guy. And then you have your slot in that. I just find it interesting that Brandon Aiyuk is really the fourth option in San Francisco because you got McCaffrey. You've got George Kittle. You've got Deebo Samuel. And those three guys, along with the way they scheme it, takes a lot of pressure off Brandon Aiyuk.
For sure.
Brandon Aiyuk comes here to Foxborough. He is the bona fide number one receiver by far. Nobody here can hold his jock right now. Now, at some point, someday, I think Jalen Polk and Baker are going to be able to do that. I think those guys are going to be really good players for this team. But don't forget, they're rookies. This guy, Aiyuk, he's been in the league. But, man, oh, boy, it's about the bidding process now. Because Brandon Aiyuk has told you, I don't care about winning football games. No. So don't sit here and call us and tell me we're getting a winner here. This guy wants the bag. He wants the money. That's what this thing's all about. So Brandon Aiyuk is in the perfect situation in San Francisco. They were going to eventually pay him. Now, not probably paying the market that he's going to get the, 4-year, $124 million?
Yeah, top dollar.
Yeah, top dollar. He's going to get more than what Calvin Ridley got. You better make sure this guy's worth it. Okay? You better make sure that this guy doesn't come here and get paid and I'm good. I'm good with whoever quarterback is. I'll battle. Yeah, we'll see. But he's telling you, I was in a contending situation. That is going to be the NFC champion.
I was going to say,
San Francisco 49ers will be the NFC champion again this year, and he's good leaving there. And he was probably going to get paid there. Probably not $30 million a year, maybe $25. But man, we got some news here. That's big. You're in it. Can you outbid the Cleveland Browns is the question.
So NBC Sports Bay Area following that up, saying if he wants to be paid like one of the top receivers in the league, he would get that kind of money definitely from the Patriots. The Patriots are willing to pay a lot. So you just hit on it there a little bit, but do you think that this is one of the top receivers in the NFL, considering the fact that he has all those other weapons there in San Francisco?
Well, he's never really been the true one. See, that's the thing. He comes here, he's going to be the bona fide one. You could look at Ridley and say, okay, he was the number one on that team in Atlanta that he was on, and he eventually went to Jacksonville. I'd never really consider him like a top 5 guy in the league, but he's going to get paid like one. He's going to get paid better than one. He's going to have to play like one. And that's the question. With this offense and the way they're going to run things, they're going to be a run-heavy team. You don't really have a tackle. You see what I'm saying? Vidarian Lowe and Calvin Anderson were your starting tackles at the beginning of walkthrough, what we watched here yesterday. Those are your tackles. What good does it to put a $30 million receiver out there if you can't block? So if you're going to run it, play protective, be conservative, and that's why you're going to have to win football games here. Hey, but they did want Calvin Ridley, so it's not like they don't want a big-time receiver on the outside. Bill would never do this.
No.
We would never be sitting here middle of August without a preseason game played, and there's news that the Patriots are in on Brandon Aiyuk. It's down to 2 teams. It's Cleveland or New England, and we would never be in this position with Bill. That's one thing you could say about Elliott Wolf.
Well, the last 2 years with Mac Jones, he didn't go out and invest. So I don't like this, so I'll be honest with you. I feel like it's exciting for sure, but I would also say that a lot of times when you're sort of the last guy at the bar, there's an act of desperation there, and we've been the last guy at the bar for the last 2 years, waiting for something to actually happen, and now someone's actually looking at us, and it looks like there's something on the table, but
don't be the stepchild again that just you get outbid.
I think there are a lot of red flags, though, with this, and you brought it up. One of them, for me, is the fact that this guy's leaving one of the teams that has an opportunity to actually win a Super Bowl. And by the way, if he wants to cash in and get the money, that's totally fine. But my concern is that when you bring him in, pay him top dollar, and you look at the offense right now, the second he steps in to that locker room, he is one of the leaders on your team. based on the contract that you're handing out. And so now, moving forward this season, under a first-year head coach, your leaders inside that locker room are potentially an edge rusher that's disgruntled with the contract that he currently has right now, and a receiver that just left one of the premier teams in the league for money. And that's sort of the culture that you're setting under Gerard Mayo. I don't love if those are necessarily my two leaders there.
That's the tough thing, and that's the tough thing to look at right now because, okay, you say act of desperation. They should really be desperate for a tackle, right?
Yeah.
That's what you should really be trading for.
Yeah.
I like the receiver. I want the receiver.
It's sexy.
I will always pick the sexier skill position over the big guy. I will always do that. But for the betterment and the need of the team, you need tackles. I mean, they're still uncertain to tackle. We got a game in 2 days. Got a game to call in 2 days. I don't know how it's going to be blocked for these quarterbacks. And you don't tell me that they're not down there racking their brains, and they're going to hear from Gerard Mayo in about 20 minutes. He's got to decide how many snaps each quarterback's going to get, and where do I place them, and what line do I place them behind? Because I looked at that line in front of Drake May yesterday. I was scared bleepless. You know, a lot of guys I never heard of. You know, I mean, you're going to have to carry over some starters when he's in the game. And then you're pushing your starting offensive line. God forbid you had an injury. You remember what happened to Riley Reif last year in Green Bay?
Yep.
Goes down early, hurts the leg, never plays again. And he was going to be a starting guard for you. Like, that's the risk. And that's why you play the game. But, boy, Brandon Aiyuk, 617-779-0985. We'll take your calls. Beatles here. Yeah, we had some issues today, but we don't have the call screener up. We'll get it up as soon as we can. Jump on board. We're down here live. It's a rainy, misty day. There's about 25 people here.
Yeah, no sunscreen warnings for Sarge today.
It's about 50 people.
Yeah.
I think this is the day you leave the mic on, so maybe he gets shocked. You know what I mean? That may have happened. I haven't heard Sarge yet. I've not heard Sarge, which is great. I mean, that's great right now. But, man, it's came flying out of the chute today. Brandon Aiyuk potentially going to be traded to the New England Patriots. That is big news for us.
Let me ask you this question about Drake May, right? So a lot of times when we look at these trades recently, whether it's DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, all of these big-name receivers that have gotten traded over recent years. All those quarterbacks, Tyreek Hill, throw them in the mix. All those quarterbacks were second, third-year guys, established players that were looking to take that next step. They weren't rookies that you were then pairing with a receiver and, let's say, a diva receiver and that sort of mindset. Yeah. Is that going to be difficult for a Drake May to handle, having a bona fide number one come in and have to keep that receiver happy as well as trying to figure out this offense as well?
It's a good question. So he goes from playing from Brock Purdy to potentially Drake May and Jacoby Brissett, sort of that journeyman. Really tells you something about the player.
Yeah.
This is a guy that he's cool with not winning games. He just wants to get paid. And I will not blame guys in that league for that. You don't get the guaranteed money, much like other leagues, other sports. It's football. It's a contact sport. Injuries happen. If the money's there and the bag's for you, go get it. I'll never fault the player for that. But you understand what you're getting.
Yeah.
Okay, so potentially a guy that could come in here and really sort of be your number one with Drake May for years to come, because I could see Jalen Polk being the 2, Javon Baker, being a 3. We know what Pop Douglas brings to the table. Now you're sort of formulating a pretty decent wide receiver room for a young quarterback. Now go get a dynamic tight end. I love Hunter Henry, but get one of those guys from Baltimore. Get that kid lively like they caught in that 4th round. Now you get a guy who can run the seam, and now we're talking about something. Misdirection, play action. Hi, Beetle. I'm excited today.
Why?
Potentially getting Brandon Aiyuk.
I know. I mean, potentially.
You got to pay him.
Potentially.
I want to see if they're in the bidding process. I want to see if they're in it.
I'm excited about it, but I'm
skeptical.
I'm skeptical.
I know.
Right. Based on the position that the 49ers are in and going for it, I'm just a little skeptical about it.
Yeah, why's he went out of there?
Because he wants to get paid.
I know. That's what's important to him. It should be.
Yeah, I mean, he's had chances to win a title.
It's nice to win and get rings and all that, but
it's nice, but I don't think it's what players value most.
Right. Yeah, they want security for their family and long-term wealth.
The only guys who have ever really put a strong value on it are the guys who have already been paid and are at the end, that are ring chasing. Guys don't do that in their prime. You don't go ring chasing in your prime. You go get paid in your prime. That's why he wants out. And if you got a team that's willing to pay you and pay you top dollar, then do it.
What if he comes here and only catches 3 balls? You could have a problem on your hands.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be frustrations that he's going to be going from one of, if not the best offense in the league, to one that is going to be clunky as hell. We already know that. So what's that going to look like with that receiver that just gets paid and now has those frustrations on the table?
To be fair, the offense has looked better day by day.
It has, but it's not San Francisco.
Again, like you weren't here. I said your starting tackles on walkthrough yesterday were Calvin Anderson on the right side and Vidarian Lowe, number 59, on the left with a guard number. Those are your starting tackles.
Right. Let's get to more thoughts on this. Sorry for coming in here a little late. What a place this is.
I love it.
Really, this is
great.
What a place. I think it's time to pack it up and head on back to
No way,
Waltham.
Jose.
I don't know about you guys.
I'm going to check your temperature. I'm going to go back to Waltham.
I'm ready to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I'm ready to. I think I'd rather battle the traffic.
I think one day Waltham weeks is good for us. That's plenty. Get all the meetings done that day.
I mean, these practices are reaching a stage of being useless to watch. I mean, yesterday was useless, guys.
Yes.
We learned
That part's
nothing
true.
about the team yesterday. That was a useless 2-hour affair, and camp is winding down. Maybe there will be something interesting with the Eagles in here next week. Maybe.
we'll be here for it.
But I'm getting new about that stage of having enough of
like
being
it.
here.
I like that. 7 minutes. I parked right there.
That's great.
First
That's
car.
nice.
Bang.
Good for you. That's good.
9:36
So
I left
you
my
didn't
house.
have to go through the security
No, I kept it right here.
or stand for. Ask Capella
See that
how
gate?
long we just waited for the elevator.
See that gate right there?
Ask how long.
Look at that gate.
They got to get another elevator.
It's one of those things where you get caught in the middle. Like, should I have walked?
Right.
Would I have been able to walk it faster? Because it's probably about a 6-minute walk if you walk it.
Yeah.
But you never think you're going to be there for more than 6 minutes, and then you end up being there like 8, and you're like, well, now I can't wait.
See, the
now I
problem
can't
is-
go because the elevator's definitely coming soon.
Problem is, we aren't service people. We are not allowed to use the massive service elevator, which is a very nice, huge elevator that none of the service people actually use because they use the people elevator.
Right. Yep. I felt bad for the 60% of the crowd waiting for the elevator that wasn't even able to get on after the wait.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I like when you get on, they press the wrong floor. Oh, I didn't need that. I'm going to go for the ride, though.
Oh, brutal.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.